Hello, everybody. This is Keith with the Farm to Table Direct Show. And tonight, it's going to be a little bit different than the way we normally start things out. We're just here to have fun tonight. So we're just going to wait for people to start to pile in here. And then we're going to be talking about the Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, about all the fun and excitement that's building up around it. And of course, and I am not going to say that what I was about to say in the house with.
No, don't do it, man.
Yeah, it's a little weird for me when I hear people say in the house. I don't know. It
Hey,
gives
Greg,
me creeps.
Duncan Family Farm. Good to see you, bud.
So anyway, but we got Brian and Brooke Jones in here from Large Family Homestead, and of course we want to welcome them in, and thank you guys for joining us tonight to talk about the Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous.
Absolutely.
And we're going to see what kind of fun and mischievousness we can get into both tonight and at the rendezvous. So, we're here to tell everybody, what we know about the rendezvous. And we should have Chris, which is the founder of the Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, over in the chat with us tonight. So if we get stuck and don't know the answer, I'm sure she'll be over there to straighten us out. Everybody needs somebody like that in their life to straighten them out when they get a little crooked. So anyway,
Yep, she's in the chat. She's up there. She's coming in under rendezvous. Yep, she's so.
Now,
I'm trying to get everything pulled up on my screens over here so I can monitor stuff, and it's like I don't know what's going on here. But anyway,
there she says. Chris says I'm here, so we are good to go there. So just give people a few minutes to kind of jump on here, and then we'll get rolling with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, I don't know about you guys, but have y'all done much prepping for the Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous?
Lots.
Right. I think people don't realize just how much is behind the scenes that's going on with everybody who's presenting and speaking and vending and preparing with all of that stuff. But there's a lot of work that goes into these. And Chris, I'm sure your hair is probably like by now, but looking forward to it, right? Yeah, she said right.
We hope so.
Yeah, I know we're looking forward to it, and of course we just got back from the Ozarks Homesteading Expo and had a blast up there. Got to see a bunch of the OGs in the business and rub shoulders with them, which was really nice. They're just down to earth people, and that's what I like, about this community, is because people are just, they're just people, right? And no matter what elevated position that they may have on YouTube or Facebook or things like that, they're just common folks, and we kind of like common folks around here. So now our guest in here tonight, you guys probably know them more than you do us, but they're from Texas. What part of Texas are you guys from?
East Texas. It's around the closest major city to us would be Dallas.
Okay. So. Yeah, I know you guys have been taking trip. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, it's about an hour and a half outside of Dallas.
Oh, okay. Y'all over there in the home of the tall pines?
Not that far.
Not quite that far.
Not in the Piney Woods. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Yeah. Piney Woods are a little more east of us yet.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I think I remember there's a big lake out there on the east side of Dallas. When you're heading out, can't remember the name of it. Now I went fishing down at Lake Fork.
Yep.
Several years ago. So yeah,
we're familiar with Lake Fork.
Yeah.
But anyway, so welcome in anyway.
Hello, everybody in chat over there. We see you.
Yeah, y'all are blowing it up over
there.
Simply
Jan is in here.
Yeah.
And Janae says, "Good evening, Keith and Ryan."
Yeah, we got
Table Direct Show.
I seen somebody Mimi's in. I think that's y'all's.
Might be, and I know that the channel that is Simply Made. What's the name of that? That's one of y'all's channels, right?
Yeah, my younger sisters.
Okay.
That's your younger sister.
Yep.
Yeah. Which one?
Bailey. So
Bailey.
the next one.
Okay.
Next one down.
She the older one? Oh, she's the second one down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's number 2. Yes.
Number 2. Okay.
And
All
I see the Rower tribe. Did I pronounce that name right? Rower, Roehr, Row tribe. Yeah, see they're in there. So hi, welcome in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Resourceful Living Homestead. They said, "Hey, Brooke and Dad." So I'm assuming that's another one of the families.
And we would have if you guys got most of the kids on there, we'd have a full show tonight, I think.
I tell you what.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were making a joke the other night about y'all's family getting together. Now, do y'all know Restoration Farms? Good grief! What is my buddies' names there?
Oh, you talking about Stuart and Ashley?
Stuart and Ashley. Yeah, they're going to be there. So anyway, because then there would be 20 children. Because I think they're 10. They got 10 children, right?
Pretty close to the same age range y'all's are. I think they're a little bit. Their oldest is a little bit younger than you, and yeah, big wide range. Say hi to Old Pecan. See you out there waving, whether it's Dakota or Shayla. I see Jack. Our family's in. So.
Hey Jack.
Yeah.
Hey Dina.
Yep.
Hey Shayla or Dakota, whichever one it happens to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said it's a large family.
It's not just another clever name, is what you're saying.
Yeah, no, there's 12 of us all together.
Man, I looked you guys up the other day, and there's one that's called Big Family Homestead.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I asked for Large Family Homestead channel, and it shows me Big Family. I said,
Yeah.
do that.
Do that.
We're still working on that one.
Yeah, pick them off sooner or later.
Yeah,
Right?
it takes a little bit of time.
I know, right? Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah.
But you guys have been getting a lot of good views out there, though, man. I'm
Oh, yeah.
some of y'all's numbers, and there's a lot of high numbers per day that's been in the past. I'm thinking, man, somewhere in August, you guys were killing it, man. I'm just thinking, I wonder what they were doing. Was it something special you guys had going on in August, or?
I think just a video that people wanted to see.
Probably, right.
Yeah, we had it. I think like when you have one video that gets like 1.2 million views and the rest of the videos get a bunch of views because they're on your channel looking around. So that's what happened. We had one video get like a little over 1 million views, and then so that's what happens.
Right. That's those million views that's a real problem to have now, isn't it? Our best video did 11,000, and it's, of course, we're a little bit different kind of channel in it. And I'm not making excuses here. It's just, we're not showing the day-to-day life on a farm stuff that people really get into. But yeah, those were some pretty nice numbers you guys got there. How long y'all been doing this?
I think it'll be 2 years at the end of December.
Wow.
So.
2 years into December. That's all right. That's about right.
Yeah, most of it is because of Brooke. She's the editor and producer, and she does a lot of work on the YouTube channel. So we just got to watch the videos, and she tells us what to do and where to be, and she's good at this stuff.
Well, it's
like
hard paying off. So that's
she's really good at it. Yep.
I'm going to interrupt for just a second. Chris, if you're paying attention, Old Pecan asked if Big V will have any feed for sale. Nobody sells Big V rabbit feed near where they live. So I don't know if you can get that up, bro, so she can see that. But
I was kind of trying to go back up there.
Yeah, it's not very far down. Oh, I guess it is. It's been moving.
Yeah. And somebody said, Brooke, you seem like you're a little nervous. You do great on camera, so loosen up a little. I'm thinking, what? She's
Yeah.
doing great.
That's family though. They can pick on her like that.
Somebody
But,
busting her chops or something.
but
Right.
okay. Dakota, Chris replied back that she says she thinks so. They said they were bringing stuff. So hopefully they'll have you some food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we probably ought to get this thing started a little bit and start talking about the rendezvous.
Say more people before we get going too far. I see Tanya's Budget and Chaotic Life. I see them there, and Lisa's in. Simply Jan's there, of course, and Jack. Let's see, Greg with Duncan. Yep, Dakota. Just seeing if I'm missing anybody before we take off on this. I think I've gotten everybody that's jumped in, so we can get going. Let's do it.
Tanya's Budget and Chaotic Life. That's an interesting name.
Yeah. But not almost as interesting as that other name we'll talk about in a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
we'll be talking about that one. Yeah, we're going to be all over them. We're going to be
all
all over.
Those of you that are in, obviously, you see things are a little different tonight here at the Farm2Table Direct Show, and my cat just decided to join the program. So, hey, Craig Beam Family Farm, Beam Farm, good to see y'all guys in. Yeah. But anyway, we're going to be talking about the Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous that's coming up this Friday and Saturday. It is here. Chris, catch a good breath. We're here. But anyway, it's we're super excited. There's a lot going on. And as we said, we've got Large Family Homestead in with us tonight to talk about what they're going to be talking about. And just tonight's just going to be a little more loose, a little more free. And we'll see if it gets off the rails too far. But anyway, we're just going to have a good time tonight and, hang out. So all the folks that are in chat, keep it up, keep it going. And we'll try to get y'all when we can and keep up with it and get your questions when you have them. So, bro, I'm going to hand it back over to you, man.
All right. Well, so one of the things I want to do is kind of pick up where, Jack from Dyer Family Farms has said many times on his channel that this is not a YouTube gathering. There will be a lot of YouTubers there, but that this is not a YouTube gathering, so that we don't want it to be confused with that. This is actually a learning opportunity and a networking opportunity that's there. And so, bro, I think, we could probably, open it up a little bit.
I'm sorry. Craig Beam said, don't eat the cat. That's not happening, Greg. This is a pet. This cat's safe. Oh my goodness! I'm assuming everybody knows what's going on with the cat business in Ohio and all that. But some of that up there, that's some news stuff. But anyway, sorry, bro. I got off. It's off the rails already.
Yeah. So we are, expecting a lot of experts there. This is where we get together, especially if you're into homesteading and you want to. Either you're new in homesteading or you've been in it for a while and want to learn more about it. This is your opportunity to get together and learn from other experts and their fields of expertise in the homesteading community. And so, I've learned a lot. I myself am not a homesteader. Ryan is an aspiring homesteader. He's got property. I have properties, but it's not for that purpose. I'm more of the prepper type. I see things going on out there in the world, and I'm not blind, and I do things to try to, prepare for things that like the great toilet paper caper of 2020. But we're not that, but I have learned so much by being a part of this community that when I watch people milking cows, like I was watching a little bit earlier there with Brooke. I don't know whose arms I was seeing underneath the cow, but I don't think it was your arm. Oh, that was your arms milking the cow.
Yeah, we have two people. So it was him and Joshua.
And Josh. Okay, Joshua. And I'm not sure. I know you were talking, but I'm not sure what I should do. But when I see things like that, it just kind of makes you long for the outdoors and getting out, with the animals and just being outside instead of stuck behind a computer screen or those types of things, like, and so I long for it, but unfortunately my lifestyle doesn't allow me to be geographically tied to any place, and animals we just can't run off and leave them. But nonetheless, even if you're a guy like me, there's a lot you can learn in this community. And man, I used to do aquaponics back years ago, and there's going to be people there teaching about aquaponics. And one of the things that I really liked was the science behind a lot of what goes on in the homesteading community. And brother, did you happen to have any favorites that you learned about? It's just so much. Every time we interview a new speaker, it's like I walk away with a head full of knowledge. And so that's kind of what we can expect at the rendezvous. Did you have something in particular?
Well, I joke around all the time that, every time I go to either we interview somebody and we're talking homesteading, or we're out at these events and stuff, I always feel like I have to adjust my hat size, because my head's going to expand with knowledge and growing, because there's so many, and and which, just getting on the phone, getting ready, talking with whoever it may be. And I'll pick on my buddy Dwayne Hall. That can be an hour-long conversation about just one particular thing, whether it's something to do with goat or something to do with herbal remedies. And it's just like, man, it is. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, I remember sitting down, at the Ozark Expo with Joel Salatin, and just having a conversation with him about some of the things. And it was like things I never saw coming from him, as far as the way they live and how they budget and how they manage their stuff. And it's like, we've shared with it a little bit that, him and his wife, he said for the majority of their time, they've lived below the poverty line as far as cash flow. And that just kind of hit me like, here's this guy, he's big in the homesteading world, but he's still having to manage and live and, and move right along like everybody else does. So that's some of the stuff that sticks out to me. But
right. And it was a little shocking to me about that too. But anyway, these are some of the things that you can expect at the Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous. Bro, have you got a list of some of the topics that's going to be there?
Oh my gosh, you would go asking me for that. You had all this.
Got to put you to work.
You had all of this. I don't have mine up. No, listen, aquaponics, of course. We're going to have our friends here going to be, if I remember, cheese making. Wasn't that what I heard was on y'all's?
A couple of things.
So
benefits of the dairy cow. Yep.
Yeah. And so, that's going to be totally cool for those that have never been through that, watch that process. We're going to have, which I'm talking about, networking within the homestead community, kind of networking and community building. We've got chicken processing. We've got quail. We've got, good grief. Man, bro, you need to pull that up. There's
I'm about to pull it up so you don't have to work so hard there.
Right. And it is, and cattle, longhorn cattle, insemination. They're going to have pig castration. It's some of it's some pretty hands-on gritty stuff, and other parts of it are just things you might want to know. I know a lot of it's money. Once we just did Lower Hills Homestead, and we talking about money-saving hacks on the homestead. Good grief. It is, bro. I don't know if you've got it up there, but it's a long list.
Well, I've got it right here in front of me, and so. There's some pretty big topics out there, like homeschooling, especially homeschooling for homesteaders. That's a big deal. And just education in general is a really big deal. And of course, Ryan and I, we kind of pay attention to, things in politics and stuff. So we kind of see, the fights that are going on, and that, and of course we see what's in the schools already, but anyway, there's a lot of good resources out there. And I know that Ashley and Stuart, or probably Ashley, is going to be talking about homeschooling. and of course foraging and herbal remedies. Probably herbal remedies is going to be Red Feather Farms, and beekeeping from Monty Shrunk. Now Monty Shrunk's he's out of Missouri, isn't he?
Yeah, he's out of eastern Missouri, so he's traveling quite a ways. Now he's a what you'd call he's a little different than a lot of the beekeepers that you'll see out there. He does more. He calls it, I guess you'd say, organic. It's more native. He likes to kind of leave them in their environment. He puts them in his things, but he doesn't buy the bee kits or buy the bees and everything else. He likes to catch them in their local area, and he's got a little different approach than some of the others. Not that it's wrong one or the other. And yeah, thanks for putting that up, bro. Jack, I did not. We will do it Saturday morning on Saturday.
Yeah. So for the people who don't know what Jack's talking about, there is that Ryan and I do wall-to-wall coverage of the homestead stuff on camera and lives and stuff like that. Now we don't give it all away. We hit it so people know what they're missing, right? Give them a sample or a taste if they're not able to be there of what homesteading rendezvous are all about, And so anyway, it says Keith Bryan scheduled himself out of the chicken processing. So what was going to go on there is Ryan was volunteering himself.
Volunteering myself. I got volunteered
to be the helper for Jack to learn how to process a chicken.
You volunteer
live on TV. Now we can't. What do they call it? We can't show the dispatching, but we can show everything else, as I understand it. So we're gonna be seeing Ryan getting his hands dirty there, and so yeah, Jack, we figured that out. We might have rearranged Ryan's schedule.
No,
just so
figured out that Jack has a second one, but
right.
No, my speaking time and Jack's speaking time happened to fall at the same time on Friday. Right. And so at the same time he was doing chicken processing, I'm supposed to be speaking. So it kind of made it hard. But then we found out Jack has a second one on Saturday morning. So we'll do it then. But so anyway, but yeah, so we're going to get in there and get our hands on it. And, but yeah, we're Dakota. Yeah. Monty's got a pretty interesting way of he does the trapping and everything for local, getting them out of the wild and, that type of thing. So yeah, definitely have Shayla talk with him when she comes down. And Highlander Mountain, and let's see, and man, I'm missing a bunch of people jumping in here, but so anyway, it's yeah, all right, yeah. Well, Jack, I hope you're feeling better. Your signs, you're joking, so you're feeling better, but Saturday afternoon now. Okay, I'm not sure when.
Yeah. So yeah, Saturday afternoon you'll get your hands on there. But anyway, kind of continuing on down, we've got canning, Farm2Table, or farm to market in detail. Now this is that coming from pharmacy? Which one has that? Yeah, pharmacy. And I think they've got a store. Isn't that right?
Yeah, pharmacy table.
Sure.
Yeah, they have a store, and yeah, they're going to be in. Yeah, yes, it is. That's what.
So for anybody out there that sees that as a good idea, that to where you can, open up a store and bring in products, and source your stuff from, the community, so that everybody has a resource there. This is one you probably want to watch because they're involved with that pretty heavy, and of course they would know what the rules and regulations are about starting that sort of thing. And so yeah, and then artificial insemination in milk cows and small operations. And so aquaponics is going to be there. We already talked about that. And then we've got one that's technology. Now, I'm not sure. I assume that they're talking about technology as it relates to the to the homesteading community. And then outside the box to diversify your homestead income. Now, I think that's probably on a lot of people's mind, right? So
yeah.
For a way to survive on the farm. Yeah.
I know that was something very early on when I first watched Zach Bauer years ago when I first watched him on an American homestead. That was one of the first things he said is any homesteader that's doing this, they've got to have multiple streams of income. They got to find different ways to make money because, you ain't just going to make it on eggs. You're not just going to make it on this or whatever. You've got to have multiple streams. And so,
Right.
and nothing has shown me any different. So I know y'all guys obviously do YouTube. What else do what else do y'all do? I mean, besides chores,
Yeah, we have a couple other businesses with some streams of income that kind of keep us going, but it's not from homesteading.
Right.
If it was just homesteading, we'd be broke. Homesteading costs money. It does. It costs money to feed all the animals and the equipment. And, I mean, it's a never-ending expense to do homesteading. So,
oh yeah,
you definitely need some funding to do it. But on the flip side of that, we know where our eggs come from. We know where our milk comes from. We know where our beef comes from. So, and that's the key is the being self-sustaining right here on the farm.
Right. And I think
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's not about an income, not for us anyhow. I mean, if you're making an income from homesteading, then more power to you. I mean, but we don't.
I'm going to dig a little deeper right there, Brian, with you because, a penny saved is a penny earned, right? Mm-hmm. So I know you got expenses there on the farm, and but at the end of the day, do you get more out of the animals than what you have to put into them? And I think that was one of the points that, my gosh, Joel Salatin was making, that they live below the poverty level, but a lot of theirs wasn't in their pocket. It was food that they were able to put in on the plate off of the farm that offset a lot of the expenses that gone. And then they used, like, for example, the cow to feed the other animals. And I know you guys probably don't drink that 5 gallons of milk that you guys probably just pulled off of y'all's milk cow earlier. And so some of that's got to go somewhere else, right? And so that helps to feed some of the other animals, I assume. Is that the way it works?
Well, most of ours is turned into other dairy products like cheese, because we're a big family. So we do end up using almost all of it just with that.
Yeah, we do our own butter.
But her milk, since we've been tracking her expenses since the beginning of the year, the one that's in milk now, and her milk only cost us a little over $2 a gallon.
Right.
Which around where we live, you cannot get raw milk for less than $10 a gallon.
Right.
Oh wow!
Because of the price of licensing.
Yep.
I mean, that's $8 saved, to get that. So I mean, that's an investment. Something I read. I sent a comment from Dakota up at Opecon. They said they try to raise their beef in a way that when they put theirs in their freezer at little to no cost by selling some. So
Yep. That's definitely a good option.
Yep. Yeah. And but I read several years ago that, people, and I'm not there yet either. So I'm throwing rock at myself, but basically that people will buy insurance for their cars or for their homes, or they'll invest in a bank account, 401k, they'll do all those things, but they won't invest in food. And if you buy food, if you stock a pantry or a larder today, a year from now, you're going to have a higher return on investment than if you had put that in a bank where it was earning interest because of the cost of living and inflation. So it is a savings and an insurance policy at the same time.
Right. And that's a good point, especially in the inflation prices that we're paying at the stores today. That's a remarkable savings. I mean, it's one of the, people say, go out and buy gold just in case bad things happen, and I'm thinking, probably one of your best investments is food. Stock up a bunch of food because, there may be a time to where a loaf of bread costs $100. I don't know, but
already
But yeah, that's a good
$3.54. So
point.
I just bought a loaf yesterday. That's why I know.
Yeah. So let's see. Opcon said, is it say $2 there?
Yep.
Yeah.
$2 a gallon for milk would be very cost effective feed if you were trying to raise non-GMO pork. Non-GMO is a profitable niche market.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Glory Hills jumped in there with homesteading is 100% about long-term investments and building sustainability to provide for your family and community. Good one there, Glory Hills. Good to see y'all in with us. Glad you joined us. Y'all have a question. In the other room has a question.
That's Danielle. That's my wife chiming in.
Right. Anyway, if people can't make it to the event, can they watch the speakers somewhere else? Bro, you want to handle that as far as what we're doing?
Yes. So here's the problem is that if we just live stream the entire event, then it wouldn't be fair to those people who we want them to come in person, and all of the people that has worked so hard to put this on cost a lot of money to put these events on. And so the ticket prices are not expensive at this event, which we'll get to in a little bit. But still, it takes a lot of money to do those. So if we could, just like the churches experienced, and I don't know if you guys relate to this or not, but a lot of churches experienced that when the C word came, a lot of people were mandated to stay home, so they started to stream everything online, and a lot of those people never came back to church, right? And so, because people kind of like the comfort of their home and watching things from there. Now, but to answer your question, kind of more straightforward is no, but we're going to be given highlights of it all day long. Now, there may be certain things that we can stream full time because it doesn't take away from what we just talked about there. Like one of the things I'm probably going to be doing is streaming, live. Ryan's having a talk about community and networking and a little bit on the technology aspect of that. But and then there's entertainment, there's drawings, there's all kinds of things like that. We're going to be showing you around to all the vendors and that sort of thing. So it's that's the best we can give you in the absence of actually being there in that. So we're going to do our best. And for those of you who are interested in seeing that, you'll be able to see that on the Farm to Table Direct show. We'll be there doing that full time. And we'll be doing some live interviews with a lot of the speakers that are there and demonstrators on our set. And so, we'll do our best to give you a sample of what's going on. Now, with that being said, let me pull you in just a little closer so nobody can hear it. But if other people that's there decide to use their cell phone to show you something, we can't stop that. Okay. So I'm not trying to ruin anything here, but that's
Start saying, I know, in places we've been, sometimes the event will record it and then put it out to paying people later. Others will allow, like if somebody's speaking, they will allow them to bring a camera in and record their specific thing. Now, I looked into like last year, the options for like paywall, to where you have it to where it's available and they can pay for access to watch it. But that's just not been something that has been, it's a lot of logistics to do it, but it's also not something that's been well received as an idea. So, at this, so.
But that's a good and fair question, because we do want as many people as possible, because, the purpose of the Farm to Table Direct show is to promote these types of events and promote the homesteading community, because we believe that they are the solution to the things that we see, happening in the world today. And so, our heart is really behind the homestead community. And and we would love to just release and be able to cover everything. But it's hard also to cover because we got 4 or 5 things going on all the time in different rooms. So even with that, all we can do is step in, give you a little bit of a sample of everything that's out there,
Right.
So yeah, like that. And let's see.
Yep.
Roar tribe. How do you say that? Does anybody know Roar tribe? The Roar.
I just take a guess.
Roar
I know,
tribe.
I know there's a trucking company that's Roel, and it's spelled the same thing, but there's an L instead of the R. So I'm saying Roel.
I would say Roar.
Roar.
Yeah, they can let us know if we're
not trying.
But anyway, Scripture says one day a loaf of bread will cost a day's wages. Hey, you just don't know how close we are to that right now. Okay, seriously. But anyway, we won't waste a whole lot of time going off into those rabbit holes tonight. But anyway, I want to kind of move on and get to some of the other topics that people can expect to see there. Hopefully we will entice some of you to come on out to see what's going on live.
Right.
So freeze drying, that's going to be with Jack Dyer, I imagine. And so he's going to be teaching about freeze drying and sewing, which is something that you guys may not believe this, but I can sew. Men do sew.
Yep.
Anyway, and land and financing. Now, guys, here's another thing. Now, this is by David Talming. We had an interview with David Talming, and he's got an extremely interesting story. But if any of you guys are out there, and Dakota, I know you were in that, and we talked about land, but you need somebody who understands homesteading and what the needs are for your specific ideas about what you want to accomplish with that land. Right. So you need somebody who understands the land and the processes and everything, and can bring you into, I guess, Realville when it comes to, buying the right property for your homestead. So yeah, David Toming is going to be giving that talk, and rainwater catchment, Lorraine Chiak, right? And so they're going to be giving that talk, which I think a lot of people, even if you don't have a homestead, you really want to do rainwater catchment, right?
Well, so saying Lorraine and them, her and her husband, Chris, they run their entire homestead is off of rainwater. So they don't have anything else. It's all rainwater catchment. So which is amazing to me, but so listen, I'm going to interrupt just a minute, guys. I know we've talked about the topic of cheese making and what y'all are doing, but tell us a little bit about that. I mean, without giving too much away, but tell us a little bit about that.
So we're going to, at the rendezvous, our plan is to just briefly introduce the benefits of keeping a cow, some of the basics, like need to know before buying one. And then after that, we'll go into the basics of cheese making, what you'll need to get started, simple recipes, that kind of stuff. So
will you guys be bringing some sample cheeses that maybe y'all have done, or do y'all have any in stock, or has it all been eaten up?
I don't know if we can. I never actually wasn't really sure because we don't have any like selling licenses or anything like that. So I'm not quite sure what the laws are around that.
Right. Yeah. And you got to be careful with that. Now, let me tell you what I've heard. And Chris, if you're still out there, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was asking because we are selling coffee there. Okay. We have a brand, so we're selling coffee there. But when I asked about the the Department of Health there, and what were the requirements for that, I was told by the event center that in this place, it's not required that you have a license to do that. I'm just saying.
Interesting.
So yeah, I guess each county makes up their own.
Right. Chris just chimed in and said, "Don't need a license for one day market." So,
Oh.
What was it?
Chris just chimed in and said, do not need a license for one day market. So
1 day market. Is that 1 day at a time or?
I'm cool with that.
Because we'll be there for 2. But okay. All right. So then we have a question also from Chris. Says, Brian and Brooke, do you have suggestions for new homesteaders that are just beginning? Right.
Start out slow.
Yeah.
You know, we started with something easy. We just started out with chickens
In a garden.
and a garden that was manageable, and then kind of worked our way up from that as we were able to manage more things and fit them into our schedule, because it takes a lot of time to homestead. We had to make a big decision when it came to dairy cows, because you have to be home. You can't, your vacations are over. You know, you can have people farm sit, but dairy cows are a special breed and they need to be taken care of very cautiously, and they have a delicate balance.
Yeah,
So-
someone who's never hand milked a cow before can't really can't take over hand milking a cow just like that, you know, because they won't know, is the cow empty? Did I get everything out? Plus the cow's going to get impatient with them because they're not used to it. And so that kind of stuff. So like you can have someone go sit your chickens for you. That's
Right.
easy. You can teach anyone to sit chickens.
Yep.
Cows are definitely different. But I think starting out slow is definitely the key. You see a lot of homesteaders get burnout after a few years. And I think
Right.
the problem is that they don't start slow enough.
Yep.
That's really good advice. As a matter of fact, Jack just said, start out slow, but start, right, Ryan?
Yeah,
Right.
he's been picking on me.
Yep.
Yeah. Greg, we'll have some fresh brewed coffee down there, as well as I think we'll have some bags. So if you want to buy some while you're there, so some beans or some grounds. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, we're going to only have 2 different there. And I just roasted 19 pounds of what we call full country, which is a medium roast coffee. And I'm drinking on that right now and loving every sip of it. You know, it's one of those, I'm not allowed to have too much coffee. I'm like mostly a 1 cup a day kind of guy. I can't handle much more than that. But whenever it leaves you wanting more at the end of the cup, you know, you've done a pretty good job on it. So anyway, I'll be bringing full country, and then we're also bringing the Cowboy Blend coffee with us this time around. So you guys will allow y'all to taste it before you buy it, so you have an
Jack
idea.
did say yes to the cheese. So you know,
Yes to the cheese.
Mom had a question for Dyer Family Farm, I think.
yeah.
She wanted to know if there'd be freeze-dried candy for sale.
It's just right.
Indicated there would be. I just don't know if they've been able to get enough made. They did mention previous. But yeah, he has mentioned, they have mentioned about having the candy, you know, there for sale. I think that's a big thing for them. It's just, you know, like all of us, they'll be down to the wire, I'm sure, getting things ready. So
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. It's just me and Ryan there on Thursday getting everything.
yes.
We generally have a team
Yes.
with us, but
So-
everybody couldn't make it, or some of them
So-
couldn't make it. But anyway, Jack said, Keith, that's perfect. If 1 cup of coffee is all you can have, you won't drink up the profit. You are exactly right, Jack. You are exactly right. I've seen that happen a lot. So anyway, you know, you guys were talking about some advice to the beginners. You know, what would you do before you even start? I mean, what kind of decisions should a person consider? Where should they look to, you know, to find out if they want to start with goats or chickens or milk cows, you know, that sort of thing. You know, starting small, I agree with, but I think that there's a lot to consider. You know, first of all, do you already have the land? Maybe your land will dictate some of what you should start with, right? And or if you don't have the land, then you can start looking for land that is more maybe based around, you know, what you want to raise, right?
Right. Yep. Yeah, like we have a pond here where our cows can drink from. So we never have to worry about having water for our cows. So, I mean, that's a for instance. So,
And I think events like the Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous are a great place to, if you want to explore topics further.
Yep.
That's a great place to get started. Talking to local farmers, also another great place to get started. They can help you more with like breeds of animals that do well in your area and stuff like that.
Yep.
Even plants, even gardening.
Right. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Brooke, because that's exactly right. You know, that's what we're here for, is to you know, explain to people, especially beginners, if you're not really sure where to go, man, a place like the Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous is a great place to meet people, find out how to start, and explore different options by having some one-on-one talks. Yeah, they'll be there speaking, but afterwards and throughout the show, when they're not speaking, man, they love to talk shop, or most of them do. They love to talk about what they love, you know? And so that's an excellent piece of advice, Brooke.
Glory Hills Homestead, they have a question for y'all. They ask if y'all utilize a freeze dryer to extend the life of your dairy products.
So currently, we do not have a freeze dryer, although that is something we would like to invest in the future.
Yep.
Right now, how we extend the life of our dairy products is usually make something with them.
Right.
Most of the time, that's cheese, but we also make sour cream, butter, cream cheese, that sort of stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
When you have a large family as large as ours, if you make many products out of the milk, you get to use it all. So we use pretty much most of it, and then we share the rest with our friends.
Right, there you
Anything left over.
Thanks for that question, Glory Hills. There's a couple of answers in the chat as well from Jack Dyer. Said they've used the freeze dryer with dairy products, and Red Dirt Rooster Road said they freeze dried milk, sour cream, and cottage cheese. So definitely something you can do. Anyway, Jack said that they can help you get a freeze dryer. So
That's true. Right.
yeah. Adventures in Gardening. Welcome in Adventures in Gardening. And Glory
Right.
Hills, if you're watching in the chat, they said they just started following their channel from both YouTube channel accounts. So cool.
Right. For those of you who don't know Glory Hills Homestead, you know, go out there and follow the channel. They're a great couple. We just did an interview with them recently, and I was really touched about their story. They were not exactly beginners when they moved to their new property, but they were urban homesteaders that moved out to some more rural areas to start farming, and they've just got a really
Cool story.
a touching story about how the things that they had to go through in order to get that. So, you know, it's not without its problems, I would say, you know, but if you really believe that you want to do this, there is no reason that you can't make it happen. You know, and there's a lot of stories out there about people who went from not doing any of that all the way to homesteading. Then there's stories to, you know, like this urban to country. And then of course, people who grew up on farms that started, you know, people who went back to farms after they didn't think that they wanted to do farms. Hello, David Toming. David was one such one. He wanted to get out of a multi-generational farm and take a different direction. And then things began to happen, and he actually went back to that lifestyle. So yeah, there's a lot of different walks of life out there about that. And
well, anyway,
anything else over there?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I'm just following chat a little bit. Red Dirt Rooster Road said that the higher the cream content dictates the ability to freeze dry. So you can put that on the notes. But listen, no, guys, rendezvous coming up, which is what we're talking about, and we're visiting with our friends here at Large Mountain who are going to be coming down there.
Large Mountain.
I do that all the time. Leonard Mountain, Large Mountain. Y'all mess me up. Large Family Homestead. Anyway, that is going to be there at the rendezvous this weekend. Now, y'all are coming up Saturday, correct?
Friday.
Friday. Okay, you'll be there Friday.
We'll be there all day Friday.
Okay, all right. So, folks,
But y'all only have one day there this time around,
right.
right?
So,
Yes.
the more reason to be there, and on Friday, make that a point to get in there and listen to them. Now, listen, there's so much stuff going on there; it is almost impossible. We got the speakers, and you got demonstrations of presenters. I know Dwayne Hall's going to have his whole corner that he likes to set up. His little, yeah, she told on you. It's your birthday.
Happy birthday.
But there's going to have that. I know Jack, like I said, I know Dwayne's going to have his corner set up over there with his stuff he does with herbal remedies and goats. There's going to be vendors all over the floor. This is an 80,000 square foot facility.
It's huge.
They told us, I think there's over 200 toilets in this facility. Now, it's not individual bathrooms. That's, but all together. So, no porta toilets. So we'll be able to, have a good, comfortable life there. So it's indoors. The main floor where the vendors are going to be, you can literally park a full-size 1-ton dually truck in there, and it doesn't look big in there. It's a pretty big space. They're going to have, there's so much. There's live music going to be going on at different times throughout the weekend. On average, 3 presentations going on at least at one time, all the time, 3 different areas. I also know, hi, Jack. My cat's name is Jack, so don't worry. Anyway, but there was also a lot of kids' activities going to be there. People are going to have stuff going on. There's a guy coming in who is going to have bounce house, that type of stuff for kids. It's separate from the rendezvous, so it's a different deal. I don't know if he's donations or whatever, but I know he's a separate thing. It's an insurance issue, but he's able to bring that out. And I know that Saturday morning, for those who are going to be there Saturday, they're having a breakfast with that benefit the Boy Scouts. So that'll be first thing in the morning there. And, of course, the vendors and all the different activities that they'll have. And I know they're trying to get as many kids' activities as they can. There's camping spaces available on a first come, first serve basis for the campsites. That's electric. I don't know that it has water on them. And then there's tent sites out there as well, and stuff in the local area where you can get discounts at hotels. This is actually shaping up to be just a really good thing. And what we've noticed is there's a lot of homestead channels and people like that are coming that may not be a part of the speakers or part of the vendors, but they're going to be out there. So, it'll be a good opportunity to do a lot of meeting and greeting and networking and, hanging out. So, and visiting as well. So be a good time for everybody. It's going to be wild.
So, bro,
yeah.
I'm just gonna kind of blast through the rest of this list
ahead.
about what's out there. But can you look up the food vendors?
I will pull that up right quick.
That's on the front of everybody's mind. What kind of food can I expect to eat while I'm there?
Right.
So if you'll look that up, I'll just continue over here. So there's going to be sourdough 101, quail processing. We're going to be talking about cattle. By the way, there's going to be a Longhorn there. And then I think there's also one of the Anheuser-Busch Clydesdales that's going to be there. So that's kind of cool if you've never seen them. Chicken processing is probably going to be with Jack, and you can bet that we're going to have Ryan back there getting his hands dirty on some of that. And
not going to do it.
Permaculture and ducks, geese, and their contribution to the homestead ecosystem. That's Suzanne Gonzalez is going to be given that. Pig castration. Now, I need to ask you something here, Chris, if you're still over there. Is this a demonstration of pig castration, or are we just talking about the subject of it?
I mean, we're kind of curious. Yeah,
Yeah. So, I'll go ahead and continue to read, but if you picked up on that, let's see, Calamity Jane's, Newman's, Firehouse, Full Belly Kitchen, Pope Preppings. So she's giving us those.
Right.
So it is a demo. Okay. Ryan.
No.
What time is that demo?
Maybe the pig,
I want Ryan to get his hands in on some of this.
Well, I will tell you. Now, listen, I was going to have this conversation with you off air, but I'll just go ahead and break Jack's heart and everybody's heart. We can talk about the pig thing, but
Mhm.
how should I say this? I got to be careful how I say it.
Gently now.
Well, what it is with the chickens, you forget I work in the commercial poultry industry, so I can't handle those.
Is that the truth?
That's the dead truth. I'm not playing around. We're not even
What
allowed to
about
have.
pigs? Can you handle pigs?
I can get away with pigs, yeah, but no, I
Okay.
work in the commercial industry, and we're not even allowed to own birds or chickens or anything. So it's
Then I'm almost hesitant to ask you this next question.
Uh,
Can you handle a camera?
I think I can handle a camera. I've handled a camera before. You know, I've stood back there, so you can go do it.
Behind the camera, so
You ain't hiding.
when filming that, that's
No,
my
it-
key place.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, and like I said, that was a reminder that I got a while ago that reminded me of that. I always forget. I think it's the stupidest thing on the planet, but
Right, and
all I would need is the wrong person seeing it, and I wouldn't have a job the next day. So
I didn't even think about that, but you're right. Yeah, they don't allow you to do that.
yeah, so it's kind of a bummer. Good pay, but that's one of the that may have to find another good paying job later.
All right,
in the
don't
future.
get you out of the pig castration though.
But I can do pig castration. I can do that.
So we're going to be having woodworking, hatching, and brooding poultry, profit on meat goats. So there it is, that word profit again. We like to see that word. Various goat-related topics, land and financing. Of course, we've talked about that. Meat birds for a profit. There again, we've got the idea of profit. Now, is that one still with us? Meat birds for a profit, Chris?
Sprinkle.
Overcoming obstacles. Now, this is somebody that this is a topic nobody can relate to, right?
Overcoming obstacles? Nah.
Overcoming obstacles. Yeah.
You're right, Dakota. It is their life. You're right about what their worry is, but yeah, it's but either way, it's still the world I live in. But yeah.
So just to finish this one up real quick, bro. Dairy cows and cheese. Now that's going to be Brian and Brooke's topic. I'm pretty sure that's the one. So that's going to be Brian and Brooke. But this is the one that I really wanted to get to, folks.
Oh, I know where you wanted to get to.
And I was saving it for last. It's almost last on this list, but I am so curious. And Chris, if you're out there, do not spoil it for me. Okay. I don't know what this is until I get there, and I learn the same time you do. But it is musings from an overstimulated farm her. Okay, not farmer, farm her.
I don't even know what to do with it.
No, I mean, where do you go?
Title,
Anybody want to chime in out there? Don't tell me what it's about though, because I want to find out when I'm there.
We laughed so hard about this today. We were, were like, we were doing the whole Steve Irwin from the Crocodile Hunter. We're in the wild with the native. We don't.
Her native habitat.
Oh.
Watching the musing of an overstimulated farm. Crikey, look at that. Anyway, so
yeah.
All right, bro. Let's talk about food.
Let's talk about food. Chris has really done a good job with it. Actually, she's kind of named it all out there. They're going to sprinkle and swirl. She said she's missing a truck. Because I couldn't find it over here on my screen. I know I found it earlier, but I couldn't find it. But Calamity Jane's, Newman's Firehouse, that's barbecue. And of course, Poe's Prepping. They have a full menu going on there that is posted on Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous Facebook page. So it is out there. Y'all can, and in fact, earlier there was a request, about dropping the links. We don't have the links to drop onto the chat. But if you go to Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, you can find the schedule that will have the names and the names of the people and also name of their homestead or any of that stuff that they will have on the page. And so that way you can find out more about these people. You can go follow their channels. You can go look them up and see who they are before time. Ozelle's Grill on Wheels. All right, that sounds good there, Chris. Glad you found that. So there will be good food. There will be good food. We know there's going to be coffee. So, come by and, get a cup. So yeah, it's going to be a good time down there with that. I mean, it's so hard to try to remember everything going on down there, but it is going to be 2 days of, I guess, Tanya's budget. I guess you weren't in the beginning. Their question was, how many kids do you have? She's just now learning of our channel. Y'all can answer that if you want. You can explain it better than me.
Well, we have 10 kids from she'll be 20 down to about 2 years old.
Oh, is it 2 years old now? I was reading on it.
She's not 2 yet, but
she will be soon.
Yeah, she'll be there soon. Yeah.
Right, there's not many years, I noticed, because I was looking at the skips and years, and I said there's not many skips and years throughout that in order to get 10 kids in that period of time. So from almost 2 to 20 years old, almost 20. So that's how many children that they have. So
Jack jumped in there with Poe Prepping is veteran owned. So
I think that's important. Right. Thank you, Jack.
And Red Dirt Rooster Road, I believe that they're teaching that subject that we were discussing is on Friday. The musings of a overstimulated farm her. I do believe that is Friday. But it just more, like I said, you can't help but it instantly makes you laugh.
Well, it just makes me think, and so we're gonna creep in very carefully to see what's going on in there. I'm not even sure that we'll be allowed in there, but anyway, I'm dying to find out what that's all about. So, bro, what is the cost of these tickets to get in?
It's the marvelous thing. Okay, here it is. Adults 18 and up is $10 per adult per day. So if you're only coming on Friday, it's $10. If you're only coming on Saturday, it's $10. If it's both days, it'll be 20. Kids age, let me see, I think that is 12 to 17. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. 12 to 17. There's an age there in that teenage years that is $5 each. And then under that age is absolutely free. So the younger kids are able to come in, and I know that's important for a lot of the people that, have to pay for more than one. But that's important, when it comes to the cost. But so that's that. Vendors, which it's it's late in the game, but I think Chris is still hunting vendors. So that is $25 for the space. You can't beat that deal, I promise. Nowhere, no how, no way. And even the ticket prices, many of y'all have been to some of the ones local. 12 to 7, $5, 6 and under free. So from age 7 to 12 is $5. So from 13 up is $10. So, okay. And 6 and under free. And yes, she said vendors are welcome. And volunteers. I know that I think she's probably still needing volunteers to come out and help out with that. And so that, if that offer still stands, that gets you your entry. It gets you one ticket, plus it gets a T-shirt and lunch if you volunteer on one of the days. So that's a pretty good package to come out and volunteer. So if you're wanting to come and maybe you're thinking, I don't know, that's a good opportunity to come out. And it's a great way to meet people. Yeah. Vendors, let's see. Yeah. Vendors, volunteers, demonstrators, speakers, all needed, and volunteers. Yeah.
And if anybody out there within earshot of us right now, if you know any people that would willing to do kettle corn last minute, we're needing kettle corn.
Absolutely. Yes. That's one we've been trying all summer to find somebody to come down, and we've gotten no responses back. So that's been a bit of a disappointment because I like the kettle corn. But anyway, so yeah, there's that. I mean, like I said, we look at these things around the country, and some of these places it's hundreds of dollars to get in per ticket, and $50, for 2 days, or whatever different prices. But I mean, like I said, there's several out there. It's in the hundreds of dollars per ticket to go to an event, and so
Right.
we kind of have an event that it's $10 a day, so $20 if you come for the weekend. It is, you just can't beat that price. And I know that was part of on Chris's heart with when she put this together, was that it was low price like that. It was affordable for a family to come in. It was affordable to do it. And so that was a big thing for her. And so, we're just, so knowing that, like I said, you can't buy the knowledge, skill, and experience that exists out here, and you can't buy the family and the community, any other way, any cheaper, short of just getting to know your neighbor. I mean, that's,
Right. I really want to put an exclamation point on that, bro.
Yeah.
Is that even at $50 or $100, the amount of knowledge and networking is absolutely worth the price of the ticket. All right. So this is a phenomenal price. Okay.
Absolutely.
This is a steal of a price for anybody who wants to get their foot into homesteading. This is a great way to start off by doing, to come into this event. And the same thing with vendors. Vendor prices are not that cheap.
No, that's
No. You're, the lowest one is probably about $125 to $150 for a 10 by 10. You're getting this for $25 here, right? And so for vendors who might be within earshot, also, consider coming out, being a vendor. I know we're last minute, but hey, we'll work all the way till the last minute and all the way till the whole thing is done to make sure that we put on the best event that we possibly can there. So, yeah.
And I just want to mention too that Simply Made by Hand, my sister, is going to have a vendor table. She does a lot of crochet. I don't know that she'll have any of her knitted stuff there. A little bit of that too. So she'll have lots of cool stuff to sell.
There you go. It's Chris, everyone. And absolutely. And yeah, so that was Simply Made by Hand, correct?
Yep.
So folks, when you get out there, look that up and see what they've got, because it's a young entrepreneur trying to get herself going, and make a little something and help out and be a part of it. So that's always want to support that anytime we can. But Chris, that's right. You want, as she said, we want this an affordable event, and that's they're definitely achieved in every way there that you can. Because, like I said, we know, it's the economy we live in, makes it tough. So, but anyway.
So the other thing, that this is a family-friendly event.
Absolutely.
By the way, we're not promoting anything that your family can't be a part of.
Absolutely.
So,
and so come out on Friday and see Brian and that marvelous beard,
That's a marvelous beard.
Yeah, I got a little one over here.
This has been going on for a long time.
Yeah,
I don't even know how many years anymore.
I don't know.
Would you recognize yourself? That was
without it. No.
Yeah. My wife was teasing me the other night that I needed to shave all this off before the rendezvous so nobody would recognize me when I walked in.
Nope, just look for the beard. I'll be behind it.
Anyway, well, guys, I don't know. We're creeped up over an hour.
Yeah, I think we better bring it to a close. I know Dakota and Shayla's going live over on their channel right now, and so we're going to go ahead and slide out of here. But I just want to take a minute to thank, first of all of you guys that showed up in chat tonight to support this, and all of you. We hope to see you out at the Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, and a really special thanks to Brian and Brooke for agreeing to come on with us tonight, and And Mr. P, you're asking me if we want the outro. No, but after we're done, count to 20 seconds before you turn everything off so we don't get truncated, okay? So we'll just sit there and grin and bear it for a little while before it goes off. Thank you for asking.
Chris says thank you to both of y'all.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on. We appreciate it, and we can't wait to be part of the event.
Absolutely.
I feel like we already are part of the event.
Yeah.
So
There you
That's
go.
can't wait to be there on Friday.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing like seeing people face to face, too.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Red Dirt Rooster Road, Dakota and Shayla are on Old Pecan Homestead.
Old Pecan Homestead, yeah,
Pecan
on
Homestead.
YouTube. Yeah.
On YouTube. Yep.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
anyway, so you can jump over there with them guys. Definitely go over and give them some love. And yes, Greg, we will see everybody this weekend. And thank you for tuning in with us and chiming in, Greg. And thanks to everybody in the chat that came in from, whether you came in following us or you came in following Large Family, calling Brian and Brooke and them over here and know them. Thanks for being in and for contributing. It makes it a whole lot more interesting and a whole lot more fun when we have the chat going on over here. And everybody gets to benefit and learn that way.
Right.
So,
That's
definitely.
right. And you guys go out and follow Large Family Homestead.
Absolutely.
And for those of you who's listening to us on the channel, we're really happy that you guys, we're out there and we got to speak to y'all just a little bit and introduce ourselves as the Farm to Table Direct Show. And, be sure to like and subscribe. I know that we say that and it's like, my son gets on to me, Dad, you don't have to say that. They know, if they like it, they like you. And I'm like,
yeah, but it's that friendly reminder to hit that thumb down there.
I need to be reminded, and whenever I get asked, I actually go out there and do it. Right. I get asked to like live channel, man. Definitely. I forgot. Yeah. So, we're just reminding you to do that on both of the channels. And it really helps out a lot. And thank you, because you guys are also supporting the homesteading community that's really growing leaps and bounds out there. As a matter of fact, Joel Salatin just has a new book out called Homestead Tsunami.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. So
and it's first chapter right out the bat. It's there. So
he bring it. Yeah.
We want to be here to help people succeed. Really, is what this is all about. So
that's it. The heart of the homestead is right here at these types of events.
That's right. So bring your questions on Friday. We'll be here to answer anything we can.
Right. And you guys go live. Do you guys go live how often? I know you guys went live a couple of times from Dallas that I picked up on.
So we normally always do Monday nights, 6 p.m., milking the cow. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes we do Tuesday morning going to Dallas. Yep. But this week we will be doing one Thursday night on our way to Oklahoma. That'll probably start around 7:30.
Cool.
And then I will also do one Friday morning once we get there, because I want to walk around, meet everybody, show everyone what's going on. So lots of live streaming this week.
So look for us. Yep, we'll be on Thursday night, Friday morning.
Right. Let's see where they're. Tanya's Budget and Chaotic Life. Is there somewhere to see who all will be there? Yes, if you will go to Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous on Facebook, there is a posting of all the speakers and the schedule and everything as far as what room and what time they're going to be speaking. And there's a list of the food trucks that are out there as well. The vendors, that's too big of a list, but there's actually quite a big list, and it's most everybody's speaking and a whole lot of others. But yeah, if you'll go to Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, you can find out all about what's going on, the location, the time, the dates, the price. Everything is on that Facebook page. So thanks for that question. Yes.
I just posted that in the chat out there.
It's in the chat there. So you can click that link right there, Tanya, and go straight to it. So yeah, great. So yeah, guys, it's going to be wild. We're kind of looking forward to it. So yeah, we're in that part of the preparation where it's like, what are we forgetting? What are we forgetting? Yes. Of course, we didn't have to unpack a whole lot. We just came back from Ozarks, and so it pretty well just leave a lot of it packed up and ready to go. But,
right. So with that being said, bro, I think we need to scram out of here.
We do. We're gonna wrap it up in the usual way. So,
Well, we
Or-
could.
We could.
Um, let's give it a shot. You want to train these two newbies in here how
We
we
can.
execute almost.
I don't know if they've seen it. Yeah, what we do at the end of every show, we'll sign off with our kind of thing is prepare for the unexpected and keep it local. And we drag that last part out. That keep it local.
Okay.
So what we usually do when Keith and I are separated like we are right now in our separate studios is I'll say the first half and then him and whoever can chime in on the back half. So I usually
Let's just try it all together. Just for giggles.
we'll just try it all together. Okay.
And if it don't work, it don't work.
Well, all right. Hey, tonight's off the rails, so it is what it is.
So,
But anyway, so here we go. All right, folks, as always, thanks for tuning in. As we've said, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share. It's not just for us to be able to grow our channel, it's to be able to grow our reach, to be able to get the message of homesteading out to more and more people. To follow anybody that's out here in the homesteading, follow these channels, find them, like them, support them, because that's what keeps it going. That's what keeps the information flowing. We believe that homesteading community is demonstrating and living the solutions that make us what we are as a country. And we are, as we say, hashtag stronger together. Without it takes the entire community. And we look forward to having more and more people in that community. So without further ado, as we always say here on the Farm to Table Direct Show, prepare for the unexpected
and
keep
it
low.
Oh.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. And Dakota, remember, let it lag for about 20 seconds before you turn
Give
it
us a
off.
lag. We're just going to sign out, folks. We'll see y'all later. We'll see many of you this week at Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous. And
We'll
definitely
see y'all Friday.
absolutely. All right. See y'all, everybody.
All right. Have a great night.
Bye.